What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinter content every single day. We also stream right here in this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I have maybe it's a quality of life feature request or idea. Maybe it's not a request, just an idea right now. But there has been talk about the ability to burn staked SPS for DEC. And I think a lot of people are, feel one way or another about that. I think there are pros and cons. And I believe that we actually have the opportunity to split the difference here. So anybody who's against the idea, right? So it's all of a sudden like that it takes away the value of staking if people can immediately realize their gains. I get it. Totally understand. So in my opinion, now the fact that we have kind of two modules here, right? One which actually shows your staked SPS, and then you have a rewards bucket. My thought process is we should be able to burn SPS directly for DEC from the rewards bucket. And you can see here that there's a lot of areas in which, that comes into play. Now, the staking rewards, you get that liquid, you can claim that at any time. But your battle rewards, right? So whether that's coming in from Wild, Modern, or Brawls, any license rewards, any Soul Keep rewards, and any land rewards, you are able to collect in here and then every 24 hours claim, and it immediately goes to your staking. So I'm thinking in the 24-hour window, if you want to be able to burn, you can't burn from your staked stack, right? But you can burn from your unstaked or pre-staked, I don't know what you want to call this, your rewards section. And the reason that I think that this could become important in the future, right now, it probably doesn't make any sense. You guys are thinking like, why would anybody do this, right? DEC is so far below peg, it's not worthwhile. Well, I'm talking about implementing this for a time period in the future when we are much more consistently at peg, right? Once we eat through all of the excess DEC and we get the flywheel activated, if new players come in, let's say they throw in, their $10 for the, what's that called? $10 for the spellbook. They get their 3,000 credits. They go in, they start renting some stuff. They start playing the game. And then all of a sudden, they have to look at this and say, well, I'm earning SPS, right? I've gotten some SPS out of this, but I'm going to have to wait, at least a week to get just 1/4. And, people at the beginning are probably not earning that much when it comes to SPS. So you give them the opportunity to burn from their rewards. Like literally you can go play a game, right? Play a match, win that match or that battle. It gives you X amount of SPS, and then you can come here and immediately burn that for DEC, right? I think that there could be a lot of value for that, because then as people go through, it kind of gamifies or amplifies the addictive feedback loop, where it's like, okay, they're playing for a little bit, they earn some rewards, and then they're like, ooh, okay, I want to take those earnings, right? So their glint, they take to the glint shop, but then they take the SPS, and they can immediately burn it for, or some of it, right, for DEC, at which point they can go and rent more cards for the market or, level up their deck or whatever it is that they want to do. But they get easy early access to that without touching the fully staked stack that they would have, right, if they have any. But again, that was like the biggest, that was the biggest kind of issue where people were like, well, if you can just, again, it devalues staking. So I don't want to touch that, but I think there's an opportunity for people to be able to do this. Like, for example, I mean, and I know I'm not a new player, right? But I have 165 SPS here, and it'd be cool to just go, okay, well, you know what? Instead of waiting for me to claim this into my staking and then 4 weeks, right, or 1 week for me to like unstake the SPS, I can just immediately burn it from here, right? It's not technically staking at this point. It's pre-staking, if that's the term that we'll go with. And then I can immediately burn that for DEC and go and use it in other rewards or pay for rentals or whatever the case is. So again, just a short little quality of life idea, feature, whatever you want to call it. I think that it could have a lot of value. I don't know the type of dev work or I don't know the amount of dev work that would go into this. And I don't know how much it would be used, at least at this point. But I do think that it could have value in the future. And as we go through, right now, and here, let me close with this. Right now, we've taken a lot of steps to make it easier for players to get everything that they need in-game. What they don't have, though, is a way to get DEC. Now, you can take advantage of the fact that you can come in with credits, right? So a lot of the things that you can pay for with DEC, you can also pay for with credits. But many people will look at that and say, well, if DEC is below peg by even, 5 cents or 7 cents, whatever it is, like that's 5 to 7%. And the whole point is to be able to come in and take advantage of the product backed stablecoin. I know that they're not going with that anymore, but it's like if DEC is at 5-7% off from peg, we were still activating the flywheel, right? Because people just didn't, they were just burning lots of SPS. But it's still better for you to go and sell your SPS. And we don't have a method for people to do that, right? There's no SPS DEC pool in game. I think that we should bring one in, and I made a video about that, right? Which I think people totally misunderstood. But if we're not going to do that, well, then get people or incentivize people to burn their SPS for DEC if we're close enough to peg, right? If they can go in and it's like, you know what, the whole headache of it or whatever, waiting, to unstake my SPS, if I can just get it now, yes, I'm going to pay a little bit of a premium in the sense that, you pay the, whatever, the conversion fee is, I think it's 2.5%, and then whatever, DEC is below. But I think many people would forgo it, right? They would just, especially if the rewards end up being somewhat decent and they can go and, actualize that right away. I think that'd be a pretty good idea. Now, granted, could we get into a situation where all of a sudden, mass bot farms start coming in and, they never let their SPS go and get staked. They immediately burn it for DEC. We could, right? But there are a lot of things in which I think that situation would still be a net positive for the ecosystem. If 10,000 bot farms, 10,000 accounts came in from a bot farm, they would all be paying the 2,000 DEC to burn, right? For the Wild Season Pass. They would need to own any and all the cards that they're using, right? Maybe some of them will be soulbound, but either way, like they would have to have owned cards. They would have to have staked SPS in those accounts to earn anything significant. And if they decided to take all the earnings that they were getting and immediately burn the SPS inflation would be like zero, right? So like the SPS, like yes, DEC inflation would be high, but the SPS inflation would be essentially nothing, right? And after a certain point, it wouldn't make sense for them to do it because if they keep dumping DEC on the market and all of a sudden DEC goes from 900 to 800, 700 Splintoshis, it's just not worth it for them. So they would have to play the game where they can't do it all at one time. They would have to do it over time and just be a participant in the ecosystem like anybody else. So that's my thought on this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you think that this would be a feature worthwhile to have, whether for you or just for new players, as I'm making the case for. That is all I want to know. I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.